Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of Flip Your 20 Friday, remote edition. Before we get started, as per usual, you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. I am still working on getting those 1,000 subscribers to push these messages out to as many people as possible. That's my 2020 goal, in addition to consistently putting out 2 videos a week. So I hope these are helping you and the people you care about. Today's video comes remote. I'll tell you why in a minute. Because the topic is Dare to Be Yourself, the Shirley Chisholm edition. So, a couple of things. First of all, before I say anything, I'm going to be mentioning a couple of political people. This is not a political video. I don't choose to use social media to voice my political views. I have strong views, but I choose not to use my social media platforms for this. So this goes beyond that, but just want to put that out there. So here in Western New York at Forest Lawn Cemetery, I just came out of the Birchwood Mausoleum where Shirley Chisholm is interned. And I've always been intrigued by Shirley Chisholm and just I'm really intrigued by anyone, especially women who are trailblazers, and Shirley Chisholm certainly was. You may hear her referenced recently this week after the historical announcement of Kamala Harris being Joe Biden's running mate. Again, not political, but that's American history. The first woman of who's black and of Indian descent, South Asian descent. So it's history in America. And she has referenced Shirley Chisholm. You might hear that more and more. So Shirley Chisholm was the first black woman elected to Congress in, I think it was 68, the late 60s, 64, I think. And then she was the first woman and black woman to run for president in 1972. So just think about that for a second. It's 2020 now. We see how, look, America's racist and it's sexist. Let's just be honest. In 1972, she decided to run for president in the Democratic primaries. That's insane. We have only had 4 women who have run for vice president or president in the history, like in recent terms, right? We had Ferraro, Palin, Clinton, and now Harris. Shirley Chisholm, 1972. And she even said, there's actually on the Forest Lawn app, there's a 3-minute video of a woman reciting, like pretending she's Shirley and going through her history. And she said, well, her slogan was, I think it was fighting Shirley. And then what it says on her plot says, unbought and unbossed. And I was like, ooh, unbought and unbossed. And I'm like, and she even said in that 3-minute thing, running for president in 72 as a black woman, she actually faced more sexual discrimination than racial discrimination, which kind of goes along with something I've believed for a long time, that we are more sexist than we are racist. We're certainly both in this country, but that's coming right from her beliefs. So anyway, you can believe that or not, just, sharing what she said and my opinion as well. But then you go back and you look at how can you take that kind of guts of something that was unheard of at the time, and she's very short. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm only 5'1.5". I don't know how tall she was, but she was short. And really, historically, if you look at all the presidents, they're taller. Like, if you look at their heights, there's no maybe one. Like, they're tall. So the fact that she's black, she's a woman, and she's short, and she's up there with these white men running for office, just the visual. But she still did it. So for you in your life, whatever it is, in the before times and now, whatever the after times are going to look like, when are you willing to dare to be yourself and to go after and accomplish something whether you believe that you can accomplish it, or in her case, she knew she wasn't going to win. She says, I knew I wasn't going to win, but I'm going to dare to do it anyway, because someone has to start. You got to start somewhere. Someone has to be the trailblazer. And she was willing to deal with all the nonsense and garbage and discrimination she received, but she knew it would have an impact. I'm not saying you have to do that. You can. I think it'd be amazing. It's, change has to start somewhere. But I'm just saying, in your life, where are you willing to have the guts to go for it? I can tell you in my life, there are many times where I have not had the guts to go for it and didn't get any results, so I didn't go for it. There have been many times in my life I did have the guts, so Shirley Chisolm guts to go for it and dare to be yourself. And it has almost always, if not always, paid off. Sometimes quickly, sometimes many years later after hard work, but I was willing to do it. So when you look at, historical moment that we're in now, again, I don't care what your political affiliation is, it's a historic moment. And I know every time I go to vote, before I fill in my ballot, I stop, I pause, and I thank in my head all of the women who came before me, who got beaten, got harmed, died in the effort to allow me to vote. I don't take that for granted. I'm like, it's 2020, of course I can vote. I don't take that for granted because it's been only 100 years that women have been able to vote. And I believe that's white women. I don't know if black women were able to vote until later. Don't quote me on that part. So I honor them because they allowed me that. I don't want to take that for granted, but I will. So I'm going to use that the willingness to put yourself on the line, to step up for others, for yourself, to have forward progress in any area of your life. In any area of your life. She dared to be herself. The results took a long time to get to where we are now. There's still plenty of sexism and racism, we know that. But had she not stepped up, or all the women the suffragettes who fought for women to vote, or everyone in the LGBTQ community who, they've dealt with some wild stuff to be able to get to where they are now. And they're still fighting. But be willing to dare to step up, to create change and forward progress for you or for others. Because what I can tell you from my own personal experience, it's always worth it. It's never easy or rarely easy, but it's always worth it. And to be able to come here, I didn't even know she lived, I didn't even know she was interned here until a friend of mine told me, because I'm like, oh my God, I love Shirley Chisolm. She's like, she's here in Buffalo. I'm like, what? And I've been in this cemetery like tons of times, walking, running. I did all my marathon training here because it's like hills, because Buffalo's not very hilly. And I had no idea. So to be able to stand there at her grave and listen on the app to her story was a true honor. And I'm sure this is rambly, but that's all right because I'm not going to edit it. So dare to be yourself. Please go ahead, share this with people who you care about, who this will help. If you're in Western New York and you want to come check it out, she's in the Birchwood Mausoleum, and it's in the back of the cemetery, last one on the right. All right. See you in a couple days for next Monday with Molly. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Flip your 20. Peace.